Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno. I'm the founder of Real Men, Real Style. Today I'm going to be speaking with you about how to leverage your unfair advantage. All right, before I get into this, guys, you know what I'm going to ask. Go over to my YouTube channel, subscribe. That way these videos come right to you and you don't miss any of them. In addition, if you want more, if you enjoy what I'm talking about, make sure to go grab my free 47-page ebook. I usually link to it right below the video. You can go over, you're going to basically join my email list, and I'm going to send you helpful tips right to your email. Okay, so this came out of an email I just got the other day. Gentleman said, hey, Antonio, I see that you sign off with SEMPER. And his point was that's a greeting between Marines. And I'm just, it really kind of irks me that you're using it. Now, I don't know if the gentleman knew, but I did serve in the Marine Corps. And I'm going to talk about how I use that as an unfair advantage. Because let's face it, only 1% of the U.S. population serves in the military. Other countries, they've got things set up. Some actually have. I know my wife is Ukrainian, and they just reinstated their conscription service. So I'm not a big fan of things like that. But in any case, many of us around the world have served in various positions, and we have these things called unfair advantages. What do I mean by that? I mean, that's something that no one can, in a sense, compete with you on. And I've got a gentleman in one of my Business with Style courses, and we're talking about it. Turns out his unfair advantage, in my opinion, is his Vietnamese heritage. He's an American, but he was born in Vietnam, came over to the United States, and he's looking to build up a health company. And to me, it's like, well, you need to leverage your Vietnamese background because there's not many people talking about healthy Vietnamese food. And so we're going to build him up as a thought leader there. And I love it because that is something I can't compete with. I mean, it is literally unfair. So getting back to my signature, how I use this unfair advantage. I am not shy about letting people know, and I sign off on all of my emails, SEMPER. I used to do something, I think it was like best regards. The thing is that everyone signs off with best regards. But when I sign off with SEMPER, guess what happens? It's like a secret message that goes out there to anyone that had served in the armed forces. It doesn't matter if you're Air Force, Army, Navy. I've got guys that have served over in the British Royal Marines. They reach out to me because they go check out my profile, and then they see I served in the United States Marine Corps. And they come back and we start a conversation. That is an unfair advantage, and I'll tell you why. Because it separates me from the competition, it builds trust, and it starts the conversation. So it's important. Those are three reasons why I use them. Number one, separates me from the competition. Let's face it, there are a lot of guys out there talking about men's style. I have used unfair advantages to separate myself from the pack. One is I'm not afraid, again, of my military heritage. The other one is that I use video. Notice there's not too many guys. I mean, there's Aaron over at Alpha M, who is a great friend, by the way. There's not too many of us out here doing this stuff. So we have found each other. We commiserate about some of the things that go on here on YouTube. But overall, we've made each other stronger. We talk pretty much every week, and we talk about strategies to grow our channel and how to do things better and better serve you. But the thing is I was able to separate myself from all those other style guys out there because I, in a sense, used video to separate myself. Building trust. I'll use the military background. So when people find out I was an officer of the Marines, that's a huge trust builder. They realize there's a lot of barriers to entry to go down that path, and it's a profession of honor for most people that know about it. So they look at that, and it gives me an instant little bit of credibility factor. In the same way, and maybe I know most of you guys haven't served in the military, but you probably have something about you that separates you from the pack. Another thing that builds trust in the men's style area, I own a custom clothier. So I can talk about this stuff because I've actually designed it, I've built it, and I've done this hundreds, if not thousands of times. Okay, so we've talked about separating from the competition, building trust. Let's talk about why do you want to do this? Because it starts the conversation. Anything great that has ever been built has started, gentlemen, with a conversation, because you don't just build things by yourself. You bring in other people, you create teams, and it all starts with that conversation. So let me talk to you about now how to go ahead and find your competitive advantage. Because you may be thinking, okay, I'm 18 years old. I'm 58 years old, and I don't know what my competitive advantage is. So we can, first off, start with your history. If you're 15 years old, believe it or not, you actually have a family history. You should research that, find it out. I actually didn't know till I was probably in my early 20s, and I had a conversation with my dad about where he came from. where he was actually born. He was born down in Guanajuato, a town called Romita. And when I started learning about this, I became very interested. I didn't actually grow up with my dad. I didn't know him very well, but I became interested in my family history on his side, and I've been able to use that, and I love sharing that because I've actually formed friendships. People have watched these videos, find out that they're from this area that my father is from, and so we build that connection. So first off, know your history. Number two, start to make history. What do I mean by this? I mean, do something significant in your life. Go out there and join a company that, or even if you're volunteering. I was just looking in YouTube comments, there's a guy that's interning with Boeing. And that's pretty cool, to intern with a company that literally has made the airplane accessible for the masses. It's an amazing company. Yes, it's big and it's stagnant, but to say you've been a part of that is pretty darn cool. You could, I do recommend for the right people to join the military, but there are other things. There's the Peace Corps. There are a number of nonprofits. I used to work for a nonprofit in Ukraine. It was called Adopt an Angel, and we would actually deliver medicine, toys, clothes to kids and orphans throughout Ukraine. I can use that to connect with other people. It's not like I did it to use it, but that is my history. I actually did this for a couple years, and I was also there for the Orange Revolution. All of this, making history, in a sense, doing things that matter, allows me to connect with people. And again, it separates me from the competition, builds trust, starts the conversation. Finally, learn to talk to people. All of this, because you walk by people every day, and they could be another veteran, they could be another person that's running a nonprofit, they could be someone from your hometown, and you're walking by them in the big city. The quickest way, and one of the best ways, I think, there are some apps out there I know that can connect people, and I'm not talking about Tinder, but I am talking about, in a sense, you want to be able to become a master at small talk. And it simply may be you just starting with smiling and saying hello. But very quickly in a conversation, you can figure out, is this someone I want to continue the conversation with, or do I want to perhaps, move on? But if you can become a master of small talk, if you can learn to very quickly just interact with somebody, and it may just be a compliment, maybe a quickly finding out where they're from, how things are going for them, and just being genuinely interested in the other person. I think that is a great way to be able to share with them your unfair advantage. Okay, guys, I'm curious, would love to hear down in the comments, what is your unfair advantage? Feel free to write it down there, and I'll go in there and comment, and I'd love to read them and check them out. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.